Meta just rolled out a brand new feature, incremental attribution. And it's gonna change everything, especially if you've been struggling to get new customers and to scale. And it's fast, it's simple, and almost nobody knows about it. Hi, my name is Charlie. I've spent over $1 billion on ads, and I help anyone spending money on Meta scale brands. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how incremental attribution works, the step-by-step process for you to use it, and the one critical detail you need to know before you risk losing everything. Before we dive deeper, let's get one thing clear. This is about how to optimize for new customers and scale businesses. But most advertisers do this in horribly wrong ways. They still use old growth hacks that not only fail, they actually make scaling harder. So let's break down the 3 most common ones. Tactic number 1 is exclusion. On paper, it sounds clever. If I block existing customers from seeing my ads, then only new ones will be left. In reality, exclusions don't help the machine, they hurt it. They force the algorithm to jump through hoops. They drive CPMs higher and make your ads more expensive. And remember, your best customers don't keep seeing ads unless they want to. Meta is already filtering for that. That's literally at the core of their entire business model. So instead of unlocking growth, exclusions cut you off from valuable warm traffic while raising your overall costs. It's not a new customer strategy, it's a really fun and clever way to waste money even faster. Tactic number 2 is launching endless new ads. Wave after wave of new ads to tap fresh pockets of people. Yes, short-term wins can happen, but those new people are usually nothing like your best customers. They're colder, less profitable, and less likely to buy again. So even if you capture some quick conversions, you're also attracting worse customers and burning creative at lightning speed and training the system to deliver lower quality user experiences. And that means higher costs across your whole account. And that means you're stuck in a cycle of more ads for worse customers, for more fatigue, for more costs. And you try to outpace the rate of your cost climbing by launching even more ads to buy even more worse customers who have an even lower LTV. And it forces you to be even more reliant on being first order profitable until you're working harder and harder and harder to get a fraction of what you could have had anyway. And you're often worse off than when you started. That isn't growth, that's chaos. Designed as strategy. And tactic number 3 is offer testing. Constant offer testing, new bundles, new products, anything to beta buy. Sure, it can work short term, but every new product creates a new type of customer with a different buying pattern. Instead of one reliable journey you can optimize, you're juggling dozens of messy paths that don't align to your core business. That destroys lifetime value. You're chasing the least profitable sale, the first one, while making repeat sales, the far more profitable ones, way harder. Cash flow becomes unpredictable, and you're left with one-and-done buyers that don't fuel long-term growth. And that's why incremental attribution is a breakthrough. It makes all 3 of these tactics completely obsolete. Instead of exclusions, chaos ads, or random offers, you can finally tell the machine, bring me people who would not have bought otherwise. So what is incremental attribution really about? Because most people that I see talk about it completely overcomplicated. At its core, it teaches the machine, show my ads to people who would not have bought otherwise. It's optimizing for new customers. Think of normal attribution like training a horse to run faster. With enough work, that horse gets fast and reliable. And for most advertisers, that's more than enough. Incremental attribution, that's like learning how to build a car. Harder at first, slower, clunky, but once it's running, that car changes what's possible. And that's the leap. Harder today, transformational tomorrow. So let's be honest about the real danger. Most advertisers still think attribution means which ad drove the sale. That's the completely wrong lens to look at the data. Attribution is about teaching the machine what good looks like. My friend Barry Hott said it perfectly. You don't finish a marathon because of the cup of water at mile 25. But that's how most marketers assign credit. When you mistake attribution for reporting, you optimize for fake KPIs, cheap clicks, low CPAs, inflated ROAS. The system gets rewarded for taking credit, not for driving growth. And while that trap looks good in your dashboard. It's how businesses burn money until they collapse. I've seen people get the ROAS so good they couldn't stay in business. It happens all the time. But when you actually optimize for new customers, whether through incremental attribution or other methods, your numbers will look worse at first. ROAS will drop, your CPA will rise, and your volume will shrink, and that will feel like a failure. The truth is that the first purchase is always the least profitable transaction you will ever get. The real profit comes from second and third sales, cash flow. And here's the real kicker to twist your noodle. First-time buyers are far more likely to come back and buy again than people who've already bought 2 or 3 times. Their LTV has not yet been matured through. So yes, optimizing for new customers will look worse today, but it's the only way to build the cash flow that fuels your tomorrow. The metric to care about isn't how many sales did I get, it's how many new customers did I add. So here's the catch. Incremental attribution is powerful, but it isn't the best path today. The smartest advertisers are using tools like aimers. Why? Because they can pass back a new customer event inside of Meta. Here's how it works. Think of purchases like the color orange. Some are red, that's first-time buyers, and some are yellow, which are repeat buyers. Meta only sees orange because you're just optimizing for any purchase. With a tool like aimers, you can split red from yellow. When you begin to directly measure new customers, you can optimize for them directly. And that's just the better way to do it today. Clear signal, clean optimization. This has been the gold standard for the top marketers for years. So I hear you. Why care about incremental attribution if the other method works better? Well, first off, great question. Second, because Meta's entire platform is built on machine learning. And incremental attribution is a smarter mousetrap. But the machine is still in school. It hasn't learned enough yet to beat the cleaner signal of tracking new customers directly. So here's the risk. You can adopt incremental attribution too early and it looks weak. You abandon it just before it becomes unstoppable. Or you wait too long, you miss the wave, and brands who timed it right run laps around you. So here's the thing. Big advertisers with million-dollar budgets are already paying tuition. They can afford the losses and they're teaching the machine how to use the tool. Once the machine graduates, nothing else will touch it. And here's the unfair advantage. When you use custom events to pass back new customer, again, with aimers or any number of other tools, and I have a link to aimers in the description down below if you want it. I'm not trying to sell anything. I just want you to be successful, all right? The problem with that is that purchase is a standard event. Right now, when you go with a new customer, you don't get to tap in to advanced matching, meaning you're only as smart as your business and the data that you have. Incremental attribution, on the other hand, powered by Andromeda, can leverage every event in the history of the platform and is updating on a consistent basis with standard events. So you get to access all of that knowledge, not just your own. So let's make this actionable. When should you care? Spring 2026. Here's why. Heavy spenders will push incremental attribution through Black Friday and the holidays in Q5 in the new year, giving the system the data it needs. By spring, that knowledge exists in the algorithm. And spring is already the cheapest time of year to acquire new customers. But most brands waste it, chasing as many sales as possible, pushing down the CPA, not the CAC. And that's a liability. And summer is when CAC spikes and the new customers are the hardest to win, but it's also when you can make the most profit on second and third purchases. So if you fill your funnel with new buyers in spring, they'll come back in summer when repeat sales are the most profitable even at a higher CAC. That's the timing play. Use spring to load the funnel. Survive summer stronger and ride into Black Friday with momentum. So here's the takeaway. Today, the smartest move is to track new customers directly as your optimization event. But by spring 2026, incremental attribution will finally have the data to dominate. Knowing what to optimize for is only half the battle. The real question is, how do you build campaigns that can actually spend at scale, not just $5K or $10K, but $100,000 a day and not break? And that's exactly what I'm gonna show you in the next video, so check it out. I'm gonna walk you through step by step through how I build campaigns designed to scale to $100,000 a day or more. So until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.